Good evening,
Good evening,
everyone.
everyone.
This is
This
Ryan
is Ryan
K1BLU. I will
K1BLU.
be
I
your
will be
Sunday
your
night net
Sunday night
control
net
operator
control
for the
operator for the
Insomniac Tribune.
Insomniac Tribune.
The net will
The net will
convene wherever you
convene
hear the
wherever you
sound of
hear
my
the sound of
voice
my
in
voice
about
in
two
about
minutes.
2 minutes,
And that should
and that
last
should
about
last
90
about
minutes,
90
and a clear
minutes, and a
frequency
clear
will be
frequency will be
appreciated.
appreciated.
Bravo. Boy, time creeps up fast. The
The
Insomniac net
Insomniac net
meets
meets
every
every
evening at
evening
10
at
p.m.
10
Pacific
p.m.
time.
Pacific time.
This is
This
a
is
direct
a
net,
direct
so
net,
all
so
calls
all
should go
calls
through
should
the
go
net
through the
control
net
station.
control station.
For more
For more
information and
information
connection
and connection
options, you can
options,
go
you can
to
go to
www.winsystem.org.
www.winsystem.org. Tonight, as usual, I have one trivia question per person, each with a few possible answers. After I call the regular roster, then I will call for late check-ins, followed by guests and visitors to the net, which will be in about 60 minutes from now. If you are listening on a scanner, consider getting your own ham radio license and joining us. If necessary, you may email your check-in to me at K1BLU at winsystem.org. You may also join our email list by going to www.insomniac-group.com. This service is free, and you receive a question and answer in your own email inbox. After all of the check-ins, I'll read the statistics for the questions. We only have two rules here on the Insomniac net. One is that the net controller's answers are always correct, and two, that you have fun doing the net. Before we begin, is there any emergency traffic, announcements, or items of business for the net? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and get started. As usual, we start with our net controllers and system controllers. And first and foremost on that list is Steve in Houston, N5 CUA.
Good evening, Ryan. I am ready for a question. Steve in Houston.
All righty, good evening, Steve. Your question for tonight. What natural nuisance inspired Swiss engineer Georges de Mistral to invent Velcro? Was that A, pine needles, B, plant burrs, or C, spider webs?
I guess I haven't heard this one before. Sure. Let's go with Bravo. N5ZUA.
And, well, when you have as many questions as I do, sometimes things get recycled. You are correct with B. After a hunting trip with his dog, the Mistral noticed how tenaciously the tiny hooks of the plant burrs clung to fur and clothing. Thanks for being out there, Steve. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. I will go ahead and check myself in because I am here. Let's see if Robert is out there. K06NET.
Good evening, Ryan and Annette. This is Robert, K06NET. I am ready to receive my question.
All righty, Robert. Play-Doh was originally invented and marketed in the 1930s for what practical household purpose? Was that A, cleaning coal soot off wallpaper? B, sealing drafty windows? C, patching bicycle tires?
I'm not really too sure, but I think I'll go with B. Bravo. Thanks for doing the net. Back to you.
Well, not exactly for sealing drafty windows. It was actually A, cleaning coal soot off wallpaper. Before transitioning into a beloved children's toy, the non-toxic clay was used to lift dirt off walls in coal-heated homes. Thanks for being out there, Robert. Have a good evening. Next up is Jennifer, K06NES.
Good evening, Ryan and Annette. This is K06NES. Ready for my question, sir.
Alrighty, the iconic standard shape of the modern paperclip, introduced in the late 19th century, is known by what name? A, the diamond, B, the gem, or C, the oval?
I will go with C, Charlie, the oval. Best I can do. Thank you for the questions. 7-3, everybody. Have a great evening. K06NES.
Not exactly the oval. It is actually B, the gem. Named after the British company that manufactured it, the gem paperclip became the worldwide standard for holding papers together without tearing them. Thanks for being out there, Jennifer. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening. Great week ahead. Next up, our Monday Night Net Control Operator, Robert, KI5, AOK. Nothing heard from Robert. How about our Tuesday Night Net Control Operator, Teresa, KE5MUX?
This is KE5MUX, and I thought the answer to Jen's question was the Clippy, but, just kind of goes to show what I know. What's my question, sir?
Well, better the Clippy than the Scrunchy. Your question for tonight, what culinary accident led Percy Spencer to invent the microwave oven in 1945? A, his coffee boiled over. B, a chocolate bar melted in his pocket. Or C, his popcorn burned.
I remember reading this when I was doing some other research about microwaves for my net, however many years ago that was. And I don't remember exactly what it was, so I'm going to go with B because, hey, you can never go wrong with chocolate. Thank you for doing the net. 7-3 KE5MUX.
And you would be correct with B. While working with active radar components called magnetrons, hams don't know anything about that, right? Spencer noticed the microwaves had completely melted his snack. Not to mention whatever it did inside of him. We're not going to get into that, right? You are correct, however, though. Have yourself a wonderful morning and a great week ahead. Next up is our Wednesday night net control operator, Bob, and sometimes Lynn, K6IPE.
Good evening, Ryan. It's Bob and Lynn. We're here. K6IP.
And don't sound so enthusiastic to be here, Bob. I was beginning to wonder. Your question for tonight. Post-it notes were made possible when 3M scientist Spencer Silver accidentally created what? A, a highly toxic adhesive, B, a super strong permanent glue, or C, a weak reusable adhesive?
You're kind of breaking up there, but I'm going to go with C. Kind of fits with the reusable idea, maybe. Anyway, we'll see where that gets. 93 K6IP. Have fun.
Failed glue was later used by a colleague, Arthur Fry, for bookmarks in his choir hymnal without ripping the pages. Thanks for being out there, Bob and Lynn. We appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful evening. Great week ahead. Next up is our Thursday night net control operator, Ian, AE5ID.
This is Ian, AE5ID, ready for my question.
Oh, welcome to the net, Ian. Great to hear you out there. Your question for tonight. How did New York merchant Thomas Sullivan accidentally invent the tea bag in 1908? A, he used silk pouches to send out tea samples. B, he dropped tea leaves into his laundry water. Or C, he tried to make a miniature coffee filter.
I think I'm gonna go with A. 7-3, and thanks for on the net, AE5ID.
And you would be correct. Customers assumed that the silk pouches were meant to be steeped directly in hot water, and the popular modern tea bag was born. Thank you for being out there, Ian. Have yourself a wonderful morning and great weekend. Next up is our Friday night duo, Russell and Linda, A6EQ and K6LBL.
The radio's acting up, though.
Alrighty, one more time, Russell and Linda, AF6EQ, K6LBL. Alrighty, first half of our Saturday night tag team, Scott and 7FGP.
Good evening, Ryan. Ready for a question?
Alrighty, Scott. Sylvan Goldman invented the first shopping cart in 1937 by attaching wheels and wire baskets to what piece of furniture? A, a folding chair, B, a step stool, or C, a wooden crate?
Well, let's try C. Thanks for doing the net. 7FGP.
You would think so with a wooden crate. However, he actually did it with a folding chair. Goldman realized shoppers would buy more groceries if they didn't have to carry heavy hand baskets. So he built a rolling frame based on a folding chair. That way you could just take the basket out, fold up the chair, and put it in your car. Thanks for being out there, Scott. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Great morning, I should say, here in Houston. The other half of our Saturday night tag team, Wilt, WB7 VPI. No Wilt heard. Let's see if Little Al is out there. N6 MOT. All right, nothing from Little Al. How about Alex, W7, following that money?
Don't know whether I should have the B-roll audio running in YouTube or not, because then I get a duplicate audio when I'm keying up.
All right, nothing here. Alex, system members and controllers that I have. Not members, net controllers. It's been a long day. 2, the Wind Service. These are the members that help us keep the rent and power going for the many repeaters of the Wind system. And we do appreciate their help and support, keeping things up and going. This is Ryan, K1BLU, your Sunday night net control operator. And next on our list is Steve, KB6WR. Nothing heard from Steve. How about Larry and Stephanie, KN6JLW and KN6JLX? Next on my list is Tony, W6TL.
Good evening, Ryan. Tony with your 6 Tango Mare in Oakland. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Tony. Your question for tonight: what protective packaging material was originally invented in 1957 as a textured 3D plastic wallpaper? Was that A, styrofoam peanuts, B, bubble wrap, or C, shrink wrap?
Let me go with styrofoam.
Not particularly. It was actually B, bubble wrap. When their space-age wallpaper failed to catch on, the inventors successfully repurposed it as a protective cushion for shipping IBM computers. Thanks for being out there, Tony. Have yourself a wonderful evening and a great week ahead. Next on my list is Chris, W1MER. Nothing heard from Chris. How about Benson, K6BEN?
Good evening, Ryan, and the rest of the net. This is K6BN in Hollister, California. Let's give it a go.
Good evening, Benson. The first widely used ballpoint pens popularized by Laszlo Biro were heavily utilized by which group during World War II? A, submarine captains, B, Royal Air Force pilots, or C, Army medics?
I'm gonna guess Air Force pilots, just because I've dealt with fountain pens before and know how messy they can be, especially when the pressure changes. So I'll go with B. Anyways, thanks for hosting it, K6BEN.
It's almost like you're reading my answers here. Yes, Royal Air Force pilots, unlike traditional fountain pens, the ballpoint pens did not leak at high altitudes, making them perfect for aircraft navigation. Thanks for being out there, Benson. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Next on my list is Alex, KN6ZKU. Nothing heard. How about Fred, W6FRC?
Good evening, Brian and Annette. This is Fred, W6FRC. Ready for my question?
Good evening, Fred. Your question for tonight. Elisha Otis revolutionized the modern city skyline by inventing what crucial safety mechanism in 1852? Was that A, the revolving door, B, the elevator brake, or C, the fire escape?
His name is on elevators, so elevator brake.
And you would be correct. Yes, Otis, a very familiar name in the elevator, invented a safety catch that prevented an elevator cab from falling if the hoisting cable snapped, making skyscrapers practical. Thanks for being out there, Fred. We appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Next on my list is Alan, KI6HNL. Nothing heard from Alan. How about Bruce, KM6, Zebra Unicorn Chihuahua? Nothing heard from Bruce. How about Jack, KJ6YAO?
Good evening, Ryan. Jack here. Fire away.
Good evening, Jack. Your question for tonight. What was the original purpose of the first commercially successful mechanical cash register invented by James Ritty in 1879? Was that A, to automatically calculate sales tax, B, to stop his saloon employees from stealing money, or C, to print customer receipts?
I don't think it was B, because it's still money no matter what. I'll go with, was that C? No, that was B. I'll go with C. This is KJ6YAO. Back to you, Ryan.
Well, surprisingly enough, it actually was B, to stop his employees from stealing money. Ritty's incorruptible cashier, bell, rang every time the drawer opened. alerting him to every transaction taking place. Step over the till, I told her to get money out. He knew about it because of that bell. Thanks for being out there, Jack. Appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. How about Bud, KI6 JIP?
Bud, KI6 JIP, go ahead.
Good evening, Bud. In the 1890s, the first commercially successful bottle caps were invented with corrugated edges and a cork lining and were known by what name? A, crown corks, B, twist offs, or C, snap seals?
Bob, Alpha.
And you would be correct with Alpha, crown corks. The crimped metal cap was named the crown cork because the crinkled edges closely resembled a royal crown. Thanks for being out there, Bud. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening and great week ahead. This is Ryan, K1BLU, your Sunday Night Net Control Operator. Next on the list is GAR, W6AXM.
This is W6AXM. Go ahead.
Now that I call you tonight, I realize I owe you a phone call. If the roulette doesn't run late, maybe I'll try tonight. Your question tonight, Betty Nesmith Graham, a secretary in the 1950s, invented liquid paper, or whiteout, using what common household appliance? A, her kitchen blender, B, a sewing machine, or C, a coffee percolator?
First of all, don't worry about the phone call. Secondly, I would say I'm going to guess A, Alpha.
All righty, I lead you loud and clear on A. And as for B, you are correct. A, Alpha, her kitchen blender. She mixed white tempera paint in her kitchen blender to easily paint over her typing mistakes instead of erasing them. Thanks for being out there, Gar. Have yourself a wonderful afternoon and great week ahead. Next on the list is Chris, BE3RWJ. Nothing heard from Chris. How about Michael, KN6LGF? And nothing heard from Michael. That rounds out the bottom of my Wind System members list. Again, thank you guys for being members of the Wind System. Your contributions help keep the backbone of the system up and running. Being a worldwide system, that does require a little bit of rack mount server space and linking things all around the world. So we do appreciate your help with that. And anybody else who wants to help, you can go to the windsystem.org website, go to that Contribute tab, and find out more information there. Besides getting that warm and fuzzy feeling, knowing you helped out amateur radio, you also get called a little earlier on the net, not just mine, but any Insomniac Trivia net. All righty, moving on down to regular Sunday night people. How about Mike, KN6MIK?
Good evening, Ryan. Always a pleasure. KN6MIK, Mike here in San Diego. Fire away.
All righty, Mike, your question for tonight. What was the original profession of William Morrison, the man who co-invented the first cotton candy machine in 1897? A, a pediatrician, B, a dentist, or C, a circus clown?
I'll take B, Ryan. A6 MIT, back to you.
And you would be correct. Ironically, a dentist helped invent the machine that spun pure sugar into the airy treat originally marketed as fairy floss. Why not? The more sugar the kids eat, the more cavities they have, the more they come to the dentist, right? Makes sense to me. Thanks for being out there, Mike. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Moving on next to Robert. Good afternoon, Robert, VK2DY.
This is Robert, VK2DY. Interestingly enough, cotton candy down here is known as fairy floss. We've kept the original name. Anyway, go ahead with my question.
Interestingly enough, a couple weekends ago when we went to the Renaissance Fair, they were selling it as fairy floss there too. So I'm like, oh, how interesting. All righty, Robert, your question for tonight. Which iconic American snack was supposedly invented in 1853 when a chef sliced a potato paper thin to spite a complaining customer? Is that A, tater tots, B, potato chips, or C, French fries?
Yes. That's a fictitious story, but it is. Hello, I think I'm still connected. That's a fictitious story, but it's Saratoga chips, potato chips, VK2DY.
Oh, fictitious or not, the legend says that Chef George Crumb over-fried paper-thin slices of potato after a patron repeatedly sent his fried potatoes back for being too thick. I don't know if it's true or not, but at least that's what the legend says. So thanks for being out there, Robert. We appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful wonderful afternoon, and a great week ahead. Next up on my list is Richard, NW7OR.
Greetings, Ryan, and Insomniacs everywhere. What you got for me?
All righty, Richard. The modern safety pin was invented in 1849 by Walter Hunt. For what primary reason? A, to hold the cloth diapers closed. B, to pay off a $15 debt. Or C, to secure bandages in a hospital.
Ooh, this could easily be a trick question. So, I think I'll just go with Bravo, and, well, it's only a game. Thank you kindly for all you do, and 7-3 to everyone. This is NW7OR.
You are correct. It is only a game, and you are correct in the game. To pay off a $15 debt, Hunt twisted a piece of wire to create the pin, patented it, and sold the rights for $400 so he could quickly settle a small debt. What is it worth today? Wow. Thanks for being out there, Richard. Have yourself a wonderful afternoon and great week ahead. Next up is Peter, KE6RAX.
Good evening. I'm here, ready for a question.
All righty, Peter. Which popular toy was invented by mechanical engineer Richard James when he accidentally knocked a tension spring off a shelf? Was that A, the Slinky, B, the yo-yo, or C, the pogo stick?
I'm pretty sure it was A, Alpha, KE6RAS.
And you would be correct. James watched in amazement as the spring gracefully walked its way down to the floor, inspiring the classic toy. Amazing how much fun can be had just from a piece of wound-up metal. Thanks for being out there, Peter. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Next up is Patrick, KI7LAG.
Good evening, Ryan. This is Patrick, KI7LAG. Go ahead with your question.
All righty, Patrick. Earl Tupper modeled the airtight seal of his famous Tupperware containers after the lid of what common industrial item? A, a milk jug, B, a paint can, or C, a medicine bottle?
Let's go with A, Alpha. KI7LAG, back to net.
Oh, exactly. B, a paint can. Tupper created a flexible polyethylene lid that burped out air, perfectly mimicking the secure, airtight seal of a paint can. Interesting. Thank you for being out there, Patrick. Have yourself a wonderful evening and a great week ahead. This is Ryan, K1BLU, your Sunday night net control operator here on the Insomniac Trivia Net. Next on our list is Scott, KJ7DTX.
This is Scott and Gresham standing by.
Good evening, Scott. Your question for tonight. What did 19th century pharmacist John Walker accidentally invent while stirring a pot of chemicals with a wooden stick? A, the friction match, B, the thermometer, or C, the fountain pen?
Well, thank you, Ryan, for running the net tonight. I have no idea. We're going to guess Alpha tonight. Have a good day. KJ7DTX.
Alpha is a good guess. When he scraped the chemical-coated stick against the hearth to clean it off, it burst into flames, creating the first friction match. Thanks for being out there, Scott. We appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Next up is Dave, WA7DGY.
This is WA7DGY, Dave in Phoenix. Go ahead with my question.
All righty, Dave, your question for tonight. The first modern traffic signal with 3 positions, red, yellow, and green, was patented by Garrett Morgan after he witnessed what? A, a parade blocking the street, B, a carriage accident at a busy intersection, or C, a train derailment?
I'm going to guess Bravo.
And you would be correct with Bravo. Morgan's manual signal greatly improved safety by adding a warning position between stop and go, thanks to that carriage accident. Thanks for being out there, Dave. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Next up is Kevin, AI7GA.
Good evening, Ryan. Thanks for doing the net tonight. I am anticipating my question.
Alrighty, your question for tonight. What was the original intended purpose of the slinky, brightly colored tube we know today as the pool noodle? Was that A, a back support for chairs, B, an industrial foam joint filler, or C, a dog chew toy?
I thought I knew that. I guess I don't have a clue. I'm going to go with Bravo. Back to net, AI7G.
And you would be correct with Bravo. The foam tubes were originally manufactured as industrial backer rod to fill gaps in construction before being rebranded for swimming pools. Interesting. Thanks for being out there, Kevin. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Next up is Susan, AI7SE.
Hello, Ryan. Thanks for doing the net tonight. Pretty interesting net. I am ready for a question.
I try to make the net interesting. If not, people fall asleep on me and the chair monster gets them. Good evening, Susan. Your question for tonight. Which popular cold treat was invented by 11-year-old Frank Epperson when he left a cup of powdered soda and water outside on a freezing night? Was that A, the popsicle, B, the Slurpee, or C, the snow cone?
Well, I'm going to guess A. So 73 to all, AI7SE.
And you would be correct. Epperson found his stirring stick frozen upright in the sweet ice, eventually patenting his Episicle by Epperson Popsicle before it became the Popsicle. Thanks for being out there, Susan. We appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Next on my list is Shadasatwa, KN6TTG.
Shadasatwa here, KN6TTG. Sorry, I had to wait for the CWID. Go ahead, the question.
No problem, sir. I allow plenty of time for ideas. The disposable razor was pioneered by King Camp Gillette because he was frustrated by what tedious daily chore? A, boiling the water to wash his face, B, sharpening his straight razor on a leather strop, or C, mixing shaving cream from raw soap?
Okay, there was some packet loss, but let me just go with Charlie. That shaving tablet, putting water, and with the brush, maybe it was hard to make circular motion with his hand, create the lather. Have fun, everyone. Shadasatwa, KN6TGG 73.
Oh, well, it was actually sharpening his straight razor on the leather strop. Gillette realized he could make a fortune by selling inexpensive, stamped steel razor blades that users could simply throw away when dull. Imagine what landfill that little razor blade ended up in and what tetanus people will get in the future. Oh, sorry. Squirrel moment. Thanks for being out there, Shadasatwa. We appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Next on my list is Chuck and sometimes Linda, KN6YMF. Let me try that one more time because it's not like him not to be there. Chuck and Linda, KN6YMF. Alrighty, next on my list is Phil, K6, packing my suitcase.
Good evening, this is Phil, K6. Pack my suitcase, go!
Good evening, Phil. Your question for tonight. What is the main reason pencils were originally painted bright yellow in the 1890s? Was that A, to make them easy to find in a dark desk, B, to signify the high quality of Chinese graphite inside, or C, to warn people that lead was toxic?
I'm gonna go with cognac.
Well, makes a little sense, but not exactly. It was actually B, to signify the high quality of the Chinese graphite inside. Yellow was associated with royalty and respect in China, so manufacturers used it to boast that their pencils contained premium Chinese graphite. And the number 2 pencil stayed yellow or orangish ever since. Thanks for being out there, Phil. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. This is Ryan, K1BLU, your Sunday night net control operator. Next on my list is Joe, KD4STN. And how about Charles, KF6GEN?
This is Charles, KF6, go back on Denver. Ready for my question.
Good evening, Charles. Your question for tonight. Why did Mary Anderson invent the first manual windshield wiper in 1903? A, she saw a streetcar driver leaving his window open in a sleet storm to see the road. B, she crashed her car into a puddle of mud. Or C, she wanted a way to clean bugs off her glass while driving.
I have a Phoenix idea. We'll take Bravo for an answer.
Any one of them could be the possibility. However, it was actually Alpha. Anderson sketched a rubber blade operated by a lever from inside the vehicle after watching a freezing delivery driver or streetcar driver struggle with visibility in New York. Thanks for being out there, Charles. We appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Next up is Glenn, KD5YYZ. Nothing heard. How about David, K7AWX? Nothing heard. How about Mike, KB6, Downhill Racer?
Good evening, Ryan, and everybody on the net. This is KB6 Downhill Racer, and I am ready for tonight's input.
All righty, Mike. Tonight's input for your particular question. Before the invention of the rubber eraser in 1770, what everyday food item was widely used by draftsmen to rub out pencil marks? A, sliced apples. B, rolled up balls of crustless bread. Or C, dried cheese.
Well, let me see. I think that I'm going to have to go with Bravo on that one. Thanks for doing the net.
And you would be correct. Moistened wads of red were the standard erasing tool until Edward Nairn accidentally grabbed a piece of raw rubber and noticed it worked better. Here I thought they would use the heels because nobody ever likes those in bread. Anyways, thanks for being out there, Mike. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Next on my list is Grant, KJ7WKX.
Good evening, this is Grant, KJ7WKX. I'm ready for a question.
Alrighty, Grant. The distinctive QWERTY keyboard layout was originally designed for early typewriters to solve what specific mechanical problem? A, to slow down fast typists so the metal keys wouldn't jam. B, to put the most used letters under the dominant hand. C, to make typing numbers easier.
Well, when I had to take typing as a prerequisite for computer sciences, I was told that was alpha. Thanks for doing the net.
And you would be correct with that. Christopher Latham Scholes separated commonly paired letters to prevent the typewriter's mechanical arms from clashing and tangling. And I do remember using the old typewriter and get the wrong letters too quick and they do get into a jumble. Thanks for being out there, Grant. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Next on my list is Kevin, K6, King James Version.
Hello, Ryan, and everyone else on the list. Or net, I should say. This is K6 King James Version here in Valley Springs, California, and yeah, it's been a while, but I've been resting up for this question, so give me a good one.
Alrighty, yeah, it's been a while since we heard you out there. I've been getting more emails than not, so making sure you still have a voice. Your question for tonight. Levi Strauss and Jacob Davis were granted a patent to add what crucial hardware to denim work pants? A, the metal zipper, B, copper rivets, or C, belt loops?
Could you cut out on the names? Just give me the two names at first.
No problem. In 1873, Levi Strauss and Jacob Davis.
Oh, man. I'm going to say the rivets came first before the
the buttons and the zipper. So back to you. God bless 73 and Maranatha from K6KJ.
And you would be correct with the rivets. Davis discovered that placing copper rivets at the points of high strain, like pocket corners, stopped the miner's pants from tearing apart. Thanks for being out there, Kevin. Have yourself a very wonderful evening and a blessed week ahead. Next on my list is Todd, KD6DIQ.
Good evening, sir. Go ahead with the question.
All righty, Todd. What incredibly tough material did chemist Stephanie Kwolek invent while looking for a lightweight fiber to use in car tires? Was that A, Kevlar, B, spandex, or C, nylon?
I have no idea, but I'm going to go with C, nylon. This is Todd, KD6DIQ, wishing everybody a good evening.
All right, Todd. Well, when it says incredibly tough material and lightweight fiber, nylon does kind of fit. However, it was actually A, Kevlar. Kwolek's discovery of the cloudy liquid crystalline polymer resulted in Kevlar, famously used today in bulletproof vests. Thanks for being out there, Todd. We do appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Next up is, let's see, this is Ryan, K1BLU, your Sunday night net control operator. Next on the list is John, K06FCY. Next up is Santos, KJ7ETU. How about Alvin, KG5EGD?
Yes, this is Alvin, KG5EGD, ready for my question.
Good evening, Alvin. Your question for tonight. Before they were used to eat meals, what was the primary purpose of early Chinese chopsticks? A, weapons for self-defense. B, tools for stirring pots and reaching into boiling cooking water. Or C, instruments for writing calligraphy.
Well, I'm going to take A. Yeah, I think it's A.
Although I guess you could use chopsticks for self-defense, it was actually B. Early chopsticks were long wooden twigs used exclusively for cooking over fires before food was eventually chopped smaller, making them useful for eating. They would stir pots and use them for reaching into the boiling water. It was better than sticking your finger in and, well, I guess metal cookware back then. Anyways, thanks for being out there, Alvin. Have yourself a wonderful evening and a great week ahead. Next on my list is Arenza, KK4, red, yellow, green. I guess he's still stuck at the traffic light. How about Riley, N6, ATP? Next on our list is Dave, KF8EXA.
Good evening, Ryan. This is David, Kilo Foxtrot 8, Echo X-Ray Alpha. I'm ready for my question.
Alrighty, Dave. The first commercial aerosol spray can was successfully mass-produced during World War II for what specific military use? A, spraying camouflage paint on Jeeps. B, dispensing insect repellent to protect troops from malaria. Or C, spraying wound disinfectant.
Okay, that is a good question here. I'm just gonna guess and go with B, Bravo. Thanks for doing that. 732 and all the Insomniacs out there. Back to you, Ryan.
And you would be correct with B. The bug bomb was developed to help soldiers fight off mosquito-borne diseases in the Pacific Theater. Thanks for being out there, Dave. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Next up is, oh boy, it's 11 o'clock already Pacific time. Chime, the next day here. Next up is Ed, K06MMN. No, Ed. How about Adrian, W6APT? Nothing heard from Adrian. How about Jason, KK7ZSH?
Good evening, Ryan, and all the Insomniacs out there. Please, I'm ready for my question, sir.
Alrighty, Jason. Your question for tonight. Norman Joseph Woodland came up with the idea for the barcode while sitting on a beach, inspired by what other communication system? That A, Braille, B, Morse code, or C, semaphore flags?
Oh, Ryan, I've never even heard of that name before, and I have no idea whatsoever. So I'm just going to, let's go with Morse code because we're all ham guys. How about that? KK7ZSH.
You would be correct with Morse code. Woodland drew dots and dashes in the sand and pulled them downward with his fingers to create the thick and thin lines of the very first barcode. How interesting. Thanks for being out there, Jason. We appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Next up is Sane, VA7SCJ. No Sane tonight. That's unusual. How about Brian, KK7SMN? Nothing heard. How about Eric, K06NUS? Nothing heard from Eric. How about Daniel, W7, DJL?
Good evening, Whiskey 7 Delta Charlie Lima. Hit me.
Alrighty, Daniel, your question for tonight. High heels were originally worn by Persian cavalry soldiers in the 10th century for what practical purpose? A, to make them look taller to enemies. B, to secure their feet safely in the riding stirrups. Or C, to keep their feet out of the mud.
I'm going to go with Bravo. B.
And you would be correct. The heel helped riders lock their boots into the stirrups, allowing them to stand up and shoot arrows effectively from horseback. I guess the knees took the brunt of the horse going while they shot. Thanks for being out there. We appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful evening and a great week ahead. This is Ryan, K1BLU, your Sunday Night Net Control Operator. Next up is Brent, K2BEL. Nothing heard from Brett. How about Gerardo, KJ5BLV? All right, nothing heard. How about Gabriel, KO6NNU? Next up is Dennis, KO6NZO. Let's see if Gary is out there, KJ7JXO. And last but not least, on my radio call list, Charles, KO6ANB. All right. Nothing heard on those. So that is the bottom of my list for Sunday night as regular check-ins. Let's go ahead and go back up to our net controllers and system controllers, late and missed. If you are a net controller or system controller and didn't get your chance to check in earlier, now is your chance. Suffix of your call sign twice phonetically. Net controller and system controllers only at this time, please.
Alpha Oscar Kilo. Alpha Oscar Kilo.
Alrighty, I heard one that go around, and I do believe that is Robert, KI5, Alpha Oscar Kilo.
Hey, good morning, Ryan. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all you Insomniacs out there. This is Robert, KI5, AOK, and, all right, what do you got for me for tonight?
Alrighty, Robert. What accidental discovery did alchemist Harry Coover make while trying to create clear plastic gun sights for the military? A. Cyanocrylite, better known as superglue. B. Polyurethane foam. Or C. Fiberglass.
Wow, that's a great question. I don't know. And I'll be honest with you, I've been trying to answer all the questions coming through as far as I kind of joined about, I don't know, two-thirds of the way in, and I'm not batting very well tonight, so I'm going to suspect that this is probably going to be a wrong answer, but I'm going to choose C, Charlie. I'm going to go with Charlie. All right, thanks, Ryan, for doing the net tonight, and for everyone else out there. Have a great week, great rest of your week, great weekend coming up, good golf, good tennis, whatever makes you happy, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. This is Robert, K1BLU.
Oh, well, not exactly, Charlie. It was actually A, cyanocrylite. Coover rejected the substance initially because it was hopelessly sticky and bonded to everything it touched, before realizing its potential as a super adhesive. Trying to create clear plastic gun sights, super glue, or at least some of it does dry clearly. So that would make sense, but it doesn't dry fast enough. It's a glue. Thanks for being out there, Robert. We appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful morning and a great week ahead. All right, let's open up to Wind System members. If you are a currently paid up member of the Wind System and didn't get your chance to check in earlier, now is your chance. Suffix of your call sign, twice phonetically, please. Wind System members only at this time. Nothing heard from Wind System members, so let's go ahead and open it up to the regular Sunday night roster. If I regularly call you on Sunday night and for whatever reason you were not able to check in, now is your chance. Suffix of your call sign, twice phonetically, please. Sunday night roster only at this time.
Kilo Oscar 6 November Uniform Sierra. Kilo Oscar 6 November Uniform Sierra.
Yankee Mike Foxtrot. Yankee Mike Foxtrot.
All righty, I heard two that go around, so let's start off first. I believe Eric, K06NUS.
Good evening, Ryan. This is Eric in San Jose, California, K06NUS. Apologies, my transceiver was in satellite mode instead of repeater mode, so I was talking to no one when you called me earlier. I'm ready for my question.
Well, you know, if we could link up via satellite, I do believe from San Jose to Long Beach would be an interesting bit of travel over satellite, but mine wasn't in satellite mode, so of course I couldn't catch you. Anyways, your question for tonight, Eric. The T-shirt originally gained widespread popularity in the early 20th century as standard issue gear for which group of people? Was that A, professional baseball players, B, United States Navy sailors, or C, coal miners?
Well, I think that would be D. Forrest Gump invented the T-shirt, but maybe I'm wrong. Back to you.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have D on here. I could kind of agree with that, but I need an A, a B, or a C from you.
Well, I'll just go with A, and thank you, Ryan, for running the net, and back to you, and everyone have a great week ahead.
Well, if I remember correctly, Forrest was in the military, in the Army, with Lieutenant Diane. However, it was the U.S. Navy sailors that actually were how it gained popularity. The lightweight, breathable cotton undershirt was issued to sailors to wear under their uniforms or alone during dirty work on ships. Thanks for being out there, Eric. We appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful evening and a great week ahead. And I do believe the other one is Chuck and sometimes Lynn, KN6YMF.
Good evening, Ryan. The comfy chair got me, and Lynn's already gone to bed, so sorry about that. What do you have for me tonight, my friend?
Not a problem. I know how that chair monster can get you, especially when you have boring questions. Your question for tonight, sir. The first recorded vending machine in history was invented by Hero of Alexandria in the 1st century AD to dispense what item? A, olives, B, holy water, or C, wine?
I'm going to try to proceed just for the fun of it. Hey, thanks for doing the net, and I appreciate it. And you never have boring questions, my friend, never. 73s to everybody who's left. Have a nice week. Back to you, Ryan.
No problem, no problem. Not exactly C. It was actually B. Worshippers dropped a coin into a slot, which pushed a lever that allowed a measured amount of holy water to flow out. Interesting how the tithing plate has changed over the years. Thanks for being out there, Chuck. Have yourself a wonderful evening and great week ahead. All righty, folks, let's go ahead and open it up to anybody, anywhere wishing to check in tonight's net. Suffix of your call sign, twice phonetically. My call sign is K1BLU. So I would say Bravo Lima Uniform, Bravo Lima Uniform. Anybody, anywhere wishing to check in, suffix of your call sign, twice phonetically, please.
Kilo 7 Alpha Tango Delta, Kilo 7 Alpha Tango Delta. Terry, Ephrata, Washington.
Bravo Echo Lima, Bravo Echo Lima.
Fox Tango Mike, Foxtrot Tango Mike.
Alrighty, I heard 3 that go around. So first one, Kilo 7 Alpha Tango Delta. Can I get your name, call sign, make sure it's correct, and location, please?
It's Kilo 7 Alpha Tango Delta, K7 ADD, and Terry in Ephrata, Washington.
Alrighty, Terry, thank you for that. Kilo 7 Alpha Tango Delta. You've reached the Insomniac Trivia Net. Net runs 365 days a year, come rain or shine, starting at 10 p.m. Pacific time. Each night of the week has a different net controller most nights have 3 questions with 3 possible answers. Sunday night, being the redheaded stepchild, has 1 question per person live trivia. Your question for the Sunday night net tonight, sir? The stethoscope was invented by French physician René Laennec in 1816 using a rolled up piece of paper because of what specific issue? A, he was deaf in one ear. B, he was too embarrassed to place his ear directly on a female patient's chest. Or C, he was afraid of catching tuberculosis.
Now I'm just gonna guess here, and I'm gonna say that it's C, Charlie, that he was afraid of catching tuberculosis.
Well, that would make sense. However, it was a little more embarrassing than that. It was B. Laennec used the rolled paper to listen to the heart, realizing it actually amplified the sound much better than direct contact, because he didn't want to place his ear directly on a female patient's chest. How interesting. Thank you for being out there, Terry. We appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful week, and hopefully we'll hear you next week and on Saturday. Check in to Sunday. We'll check in 2 Sundays in a row, and we'll get you added to the list if you so choose. Getting tiring. Next up, I heard Brett, I believe, K1BLU.
Yep, this is Brett, K1BLU, mobile, ready for my question.
All righty, Brett. Well, mobile safely while you ponder on your question. What common household item was invented by Albert J. Parkhouse in 1903 because all the coat hooks at his workplace were full? Was that A, the wire coat hanger, B, the locker, or C, the umbrella stand?
No clue. So, on a whim, I'm going to go with C. Back to net control. Thank you for letting me participate.
Well, actually, it was A, the wire coat hanger of all things. Parkhouse bent a piece of wire into 2 ovals with a hook at the top, so he could hang his coat up at the wire and novelty company where he worked. The Wire and Novelty Company. Interesting. Thank you for being out there, Brett. Mobile safely, and we'll catch you next week, hopefully. And do wonders never cease? Is that Alex out there, W7, following that money?
Hello, Ryan. Yeah, you're working late tonight, so I was able to catch you. And, you know, every time I try to put my ear up to a woman's breast, they call the police. So I don't understand. Maybe I should get a stethoscope. Anyway, what's my question, please?
You could just follow with him and roll up a piece of paper and do it, and that way you can kind of use the rolled up paper for something if it turns into, well, we're not going to get into that. This is family radio. Good evening, Alex. Your question for tonight: what was the primary motivation for Josephine Cochran to invent the first commercially successful mechanical dishwasher in 1886? A, she hated getting her hands wrinkled in dishwater. B, her servants kept chipping her expensive fine china while washing it by hand. Or C, she owned a busy restaurant.
Well, if she's like my wife, she probably wanted to avoid her people breaking the dishes, her customers, so we'll go with that one. W7FTM. Thanks, Ryan.
And you would be correct. Cochran designed a machine that relied on water pressure rather than scrubbers to safely clean her delicate heirloom plates because the servants kept chipping the fine china while washing it. Thanks for being out there, Alex. I do appreciate you checking in, and have yourself a wonderful evening, week ahead, whatever. Hopefully we'll hear you next week. Alrighty, folks. Gonna go put it up to the final go around for tonight's net. Suffix of your call sign twice phonetically. Final go around. Anybody, anywhere. Suffix of your call sign.
Mike, Dick, 3, Tango.
Alrighty. I only heard one that last go around. Final call. And I do believe it's Bruce N7, Mike X-Ray Tango. Is that you, sir?
It is indeed. I finally got back to the shack, so lay it on me.
Alrighty, Bruce. Your question for tonight. In the early 1900s, Earl Dickinson invented Band-Aids for what very personal reason? A, his wife frequently cut and burned herself while cooking. B, his children were constantly scraping their knees. Or C, he needed a way to cover blisters from his factory shoes.
They all sound good. Let's go with Charlie, just because.
Oh, you know, if you don't know, then you're absolutely right. They all sound perfectly legit. However, it was actually A. Dickinson placed squares of sterile gauze on strips of surgical tape, so his accident-prone wife could quickly bandage her own wounds. Interesting. Thank you for being out there, Bruce. Hope you have a wonderful evening and great week ahead. Alrighty, folks, I'm going to go ahead and close up the net for tonight. It is 26 minutes past the 11 o'clock hour. This is Ryan, K1BLU, your Sunday Night Net Control Operator. Let me go ahead and break for reset. Alrighty, folks. So far on radio check-ins, I have 42 check-ins. 24 of those were correct answers, and 18 learned something new. After all, with history of products and where things came from, it's not common knowledge for a lot of people, but hopefully it was fun and entertaining for you guys. I'll go ahead and get the emails in there and then send out the final tally once that is done. I hope you guys enjoyed the net tonight, as I enjoy doing it for you guys every week. Also, it is a live stream on my channel, K1BLU, and the Insomniac net channel, which, if you haven't seen it, I think the only thing on there is a few of my nets, but nonetheless. Anyways, break for reset here. Alrighty, folks, let me go ahead and close up tonight's net. Any feedback from you guys, positive, negative, otherwise, is always welcome, as usual. This is Ryan, K1BLU in Lakewood, California, closing tonight's net and returning all frequencies back to normal, undirected amateur use. Good night, everyone, and 7-3. Alrighty. And for those on the B-roll online here after the net, I have a guest joining me in the studio tonight, at least while I sit here and go through emails.
Who's about as awake as you are.
Yeah, I noticed. But eventually I'll get it.
Oh, I'm always trying. If you don't believe me, ask my coworkers.
And if you don't believe me, ask the dishes. Where's my email? There's my email.
Ow.
Let's see. Spam, spam, spam.
Well,
Not the edible kind either.
spam, 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 spammity spam. Wonderful spam. No, not that kind of
I'm a lot. Let's see. BNC.
I have to push the pram a lot.
Good timing on the kitty meow to that too.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. A. Nope.
hear?
B.
I don't feel so bad about not being able to work them. Because of where they're at in the band, I can't hear them, so I can't work them anyway. Ha ha ha. Serves you right, Morocco. No, sorry.
See, being an extra, I can work outside that part of the band.
Oh. Hi, Michael. K1BLU. I'm Tuesday night. And Murder Mittens here.
Michael. Oh, chat.
Yep.
I'm on the wrong window. You know, my chat has been acting up lately. I have it here, but nothing pops up. You.
Kitty, your tail is tickling.
I can send messages. It says it's connected. I don't know why the chat, and even on YouTube's page where it normally loads the chat, it says something went wrong and has a monkey with a hammer.
Huh.
So
Now, I mean, the Insomniac net, that doesn't have a
chat. I turned that off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
But yours
can't
does.
keep up with both. I know mine does, but I don't know why it's not popping up on either one. Because I've got chat in OBS. It's telling me I have 5 viewers, 7 viewers. But even on the YouTube page, it just says something went wrong with a monkey. And it's been doing that the past few times. I don't know what's going on.
I don't either.
Santos emailed in.
Let's see here. Let me do something real quick.
Okay, AWX.
There we go. Now we can all see Murder Mittens.
Turned on some light.
Yes. Turned on the lights. The party's over. No, wait, that's not how that goes either.
And I say, turn on the lights. And I say, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, down, 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 till you see all my dreams. Not everything in this magical world is well. I know. I need to sing solo. Solo, nobody can hear me.
I get accused of that all the time. Never stops me.
Besides, I don't want to get kicked off YouTube for singing.
Yep.
I don't want people to go deaf listening to my tone deaf.
Well, I know of one ham radio operator. I'm not going to name names. But,
no.
ow. They were more or less like a special event, almost, just because they were rare catch. And somebody said, hey, it's my daughter's birthday, son's birthdays, mom's birthday, whatever. Can you sing happy birthday to her? They did it. They got later pulled aside on a different chat and gone, that was very cute and nice what you did. Don't do it again.
Yep. Well, you missed last week. Last week, I actually had at the very, very tail end of the net, I got a emergency call.
Oh.
Somebody actually in LA here, his cell phone died, and he had his ham radio, and he wanted an ambulance called out for him.
Oh, wow.
So at the very end of the net, I called the ambulance for him and kind of stood by the radio while they got there until he got picked up. So.
Excellent. Good for you, sir.
Yep. All those years of search and rescue and whatnot, keep a cool head and just relay the information as it comes in.
Yep.
So. All right, I think that's all of my emails. Were you listening to me on the net?
Off and on.
A lot of people said packet loss, and I can't tell on my end because I light up the repeater. Doesn't necessarily tell me that it's not going through, but
Right. I wasn't listening that close.
Okay.
Since I couldn't hear you through the deal because of my stupidity. I'd connect every once in a while, see where you were at and go, okay, you've got, maybe another 20 minutes to go. And I'd turn it back off and because I was playing radio.
Yes. One of these days I will. Again.
I'm kind of cheating.
How so?
Remote.
That's the only way I could from home, unless I go out and work on the park. I have a S9 noise floor here.
Oh, Lord.
And it's either somebody is doing something they shouldn't around here, or it's possible because of this area. The homes were built in 1950s. And so the transformers and the power lines are also circa 1950s. They replaced 2 transformers on the other side of the street 3-4 months ago. One of them looked like a brown garbage can. It was so rusted.
Oh, Jesus.
So, but let's see, 49 total, 28 correct, 21 incorrect.
174, yeah. Nope, can't hear him either.
Okay, sending out to Insomniac Net and send. Alrighty, folks. So it looks like I got four viewers here. I wish I could see the chat, but it's not working. So I will have to figure out what's going on with my YouTube. At least this week, I think the stream was a little better. Last week we had issues with the stream. My laptop decided out of the blue to go to work at like 0.8 gigahertz, and so it pretty much choked everything. I found out that buying an aftermarket battery for a laptop causes a throttle that I can get past to the program. So now I'm running at full speed and laptop's just humming right along, and the streams are going out okay. So anyways, with that being said, folks, I thank you guys for being out there on the live stream. And any feedback, if you guys want to be guests on the live stream, send me an email. Just like Teresa's a guest here, this is open to anybody who passes the "you're not going to be an idiot on YouTube" test. And get on here, and I can have a group of people on here with. In fact, I can also have a guest net control operator for those who are interested in YouTube land. I can actually share my list, my questions, and whatnot, and have you read the questions or read the answers or however you want. I'm game. I'm into sharing the hobby of ham radio with everybody and everyone. So that being said, I will go ahead and close up tonight's video. Of course, now that I get more viewers. 6
Go
people
figure.
according to this. Yeah. Anyways, I'll go ahead and close up tonight's live stream.
Ow.
And we will see you all next Saturday night.